not disturb. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Let us help you grow. Morning, Chris. Chris, I might start doing listener interviews. You'd be a good one to interview, by the way. So slide into my DMs. Kidding, I'm not ready to do that stuff yet, but okay, I think I'm good. Hey Wendy, I'm gonna get started here. Here's the show coming up. For paid members, I went over the 10-bagger list, and I asked Perplexity to find common indicators, fundamental or technical, that they exhibited, and then find stocks that exhibit the same. XLP. Oh, what's Newsmax up to? It's down 22%. Let's see. XLP. Boy, that's a tough sell, Chris. It's tariff day. XLP on a day that 25% reciprocal tariffs could come in. It's a tough sell. I thought this was super interesting. Where is it? Open with. This particular thread. We'll go over this. She's now got 300 billion in assets under management. One of the best traders. I always learn something from those threads that I watch. Here's a list of stocks near 52-week lows. Are any of these buys? We'll kind of look through that. Why is the stock Melly dropping? I just asked Perplexity. Don't forget about trading. Snowflake, we'll look at that one. Insurance has held up incredibly well. And here's a breakdown of insurance companies. This was probably the best AI video I have watched. Let me see. I hate how I can't skip ads anymore on YouTube for some reason. It doesn't let me skip ads. I don't know what it is. I don't want closed captions. This is one of the best videos I have seen on AI, and it really is. It's super fantastic. NVIDIA demand is not dead, by the way. Just so we're all aware. Tell me we have a tariff war without telling me we have a tariff war, with the Atlanta GDP bringing down GDP. We could be in a recession right now. An Apple strategy that pays, let's see, enters on a 30-minute close above the BBBY, 10,000 candles back tested, 2 times buy and hold with a 2.88 risk reward. That's pretty freaking good. Yeah. An Apple strategy. And here's 3 custom indicators for your Trendspider setup, which I thought were kind of interesting. I imported them on my test platform. Caution is warranted, and it's a good view, because this when the 8 and the 21 cross, that's always good. We'll talk about Newsmax and things of that sort, and we're also going to talk about Seeking Alpha and alpha picks. So, morning, Scott. Okay. Let me do a little scan here. haven't done one of these in a while. Is there anything? Oh. I mean, there's a lot of red. Coke's up at 72. MPLX is up. Pepsi's up. I mean, it's the same cast of characters. Simon Property Group's up a little bit. XLK is down 1.32. XLY got a cross up yesterday. Roblox has been trudging along, by the way. I mean, that's just holding up. XLY. Huh. Scans. XLY. Roblox. Let's go over. We're going to do. Let's see if any leverage ETFs. Oh, nothing there. Spider sectors. XLY and XLB. The watch list. There's got to be a couple in here. Yeah, I think crypto could be it. I mean, and I tell people this, 1 to 5% in crypto doesn't have to be, the best crypto. But that's interesting. McKesson, Lyft. I don't know that I'd go in there, but let's do a scan on Bitcoin and crypto. Nothing in that list. So let's do the indexes. Anything in the Dow? Nike, Honeywell. Let's look at the NASDAQ. BKR, Baker. Is that Baker Hughes? Yeah, Baker Hughes. And S&P 100. COP. MDT, Medtronics. Okay. That's interesting. Yes. Wah. Is that the 821 and 50? It's a tough, and I don't mean, I hope it works out. I really do. It's a tough sell for me on a day that you could have reciprocal tariffs announced to go into consumer staples. But I don't know. I mean, you could get a better off factor and maybe things don't go as bad, but okay, I'm going to start recording here because I am going to work on some stuff. Larry, by the way, MK just went upstairs to take a nap. She said, just mention to Larry, I said, Larry. So, okay, I'm going to start recording. Good morning. This is, oh God, stop. I got interrupted by the damn update from OBS. We're going to move that to trash. Yeah. And Chris, that's you and I have made our money, and if you trust the charts, you trust the charts. I mean, that's the simple fact about it. I try and trust, I talked about this the other day. I try and trust my Tesla 4-hour algorithm because it makes 165% versus 41% buy and hold. I try and trust it. I just get talked out of it a lot for some reason. And I own Tesla through XLY. I own a small position in my Webull account, but trusting charts because I haven't trusted charts for my entire career. Voila. And I don't use stop losses. So that's my thing is I don't use stop losses. And I don't say that you shouldn't use stop losses. It's just, it's comfort. I kind of grew up in that Warren Buffett world where if I'm getting into a stock, why am I stopping it out? Again, I'm not the best protector of capital, so it has lost me more money than I should have, but I've never had a catastrophic downturn. Yeah, and that's as you get older, I'm starting to realize that. I mean, I'm seeing my parents. We're trying to get them into VOO and QQQ away from single stock exposure. So, okay. Let me record again. Good morning. It's Wednesday, April 2nd. It's the day after April Fools. And there's no fooling this. Today, it's tariffs. It's tariffs. And before I get into let me just go over a little bit. We're going to go over NewsMax because that one's just crazy. We're going to go over CoreWeave because somebody got into CoreWeave. That was a big boost yesterday. We're going to go over some Trendspider stuff. NVIDIA demand is not dead. Insurance stocks. Why is Mercado Libre, I think I'm saying that right, Melly? Why is that one down? We'll go over that. A list of 52-week lows, stocks. And then a little education from a legendary trader. And what I learned, particularly from this particular video, and some scans. We'll go over that. And then for paid members, by the way, I went to Perplexity. I took the 10-bagger list, which are stocks that from 2020, they have gone up 1,000, 10 times, 1,000%. So they've 10 times your money in just 5 years. Okay. And I asked Perplexity, what's the commonality? And I went through the whole step. I'll take you through everything. We got 9 stocks that could 10 times your money in 5 years. So we'll go over all of that. But today, it's all about tariffs. And I like to start out with charts, but the charts don't matter right now. What matters are the tariffs. And I will tell you, the big thing with tariffs that I'm nervous about is, why do you hold a press conference at 4 p.m. in the Rose Garden? The market's closed. FYI, the market is closed, and that is timed specifically. You don't do good news when the market's closed. If you're a president that cares about the stock market, you don't do good news when the market is closed. So my suggestion is to go over and take a look at the VIX, and you can play UVIXY and SVIXY, okay? Because we see yesterday, the VIX creeped up. The VIX creeped up overnight, and it's because we're on tariff day. So you can play UVIXY, UVXY. UVXY is one that you can play. The 4-hour algorithm has you in. I wouldn't suggest buying and holding. Find an entry. But here you go. The last time you got in, February 21st, this made you 20%. It got you out late. Maybe the 65-minute actually works better. Let's look at this one. Well, 65-minute just it bounces way too much. Let's look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour stock bottle. Does it work? Well, not really. You're up 29% if you just bought and held this damn thing for the last 61 days. So try and find a strategy that works for UVIXY or SVIXY. Remember, these are triple leveraged ETFs on the VIX. They're not the best, but you can find an ETF on the VIX and play it. Because no doubt that after market hours, the VIX will either crash because he announces, hey, this is just a negotiation, or the VIX is going to spike. And look, If you look at the VIX over 5 years, we're low. We're not back up here in 2020 where we were constantly at 30. We're spiking to 30 and 40. The 52-week range of the VIX is between 11 and 65. So understand the VIX because that's what's going to move this. Now, another thing is we got an alpha pick yesterday. Okay? And I'm going to show you the 4 hour, the 4 hour doesn't matter on this one. It's the 5-minute chart because I've said you can trade this one on a 5-minute chart. Well, yesterday, it wasn't that big of a spike. It went from 15 at 11:55. You know, we can do a 1-minute candle. Let's do a 1-minute candle. We can look at that. And so at noontime, you see it spike here. It went from 15:06 all the way up to 16:35. And you lost confirmation. Yes, you have 3 minutes to get through this. So if you just bought this, if you were sitting there on alpha picks on Seeking Alpha and you did this, that's a strategy. And it does this every time. Sometimes it's big, bigger than normal, but sometimes it's just, nothing. But this one, it didn't hold. Now, the middle of this range right here, 1549, this is where it did. But if you want alpha picks, listen, go over to my link tree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. The link is down below. It's written on the screen. And you've got Trendspider. You've got all the Seeking Alpha stuff. You've got everything. I'm going to go over more. Let's take a look at the chart of QQQ. Okay? QQQ, the algorithm got you out March 28th. March 28th. So you missed this little run down here, the March 31st, Monday. You missed that big leg down. But you've also missed a little recovery as well. I don't know what your position is, but my position is when the algorithm tells me to get in, I just get in and I tend to buy and hold. Now, am I going in, say I've got $5,000 on the sideline that I want to get into QQQ, and I've identified this because I journal all my stuff. Well, what am I doing at that 478? I'm maybe putting in 500. I'm maybe putting in 1,000. I'm not all putting all 5,000 in because the 50-day is still moving down. I don't trust that death cross. When we look at a daily on this one, we are below the 200-day. Nothing ever good happens below the 200-day until you start moving that 50-day positive. Okay? Look at this last daily where we started seeing the 50-day. It crossed down. Now, you're not crossing right now, but you're close to a death cross. It crossed down on March 22nd, 2022. It took until March of 2023 to get back up. The market doesn't always bounce back right away. Now, that death cross, you're going to need to watch it because down here, we saw it in September 2023 into October where it hit the lows in October, and then we bounced back up. Okay, in 2024, we didn't see on a daily a negative trending 50-day. We've now seen a negative trending 50-day. So just be careful. I don't know your situation. You shouldn't be listening to me. One of the ways I'm careful is Seeking Alpha's morning email brief. Okay, I've got my own personal portfolio imported, and I get this. This is the core portfolio. And what they do is they rate stocks based on the quant rating. And the quant rating has shown it beats the actual market. So ratings upgrades, VOO, and QQQM. QQQM is QQQ. It's just a lower expense rate. Okay, it's got the same holding, same exact thing. QQQM went from a sell to a hold. VOO went from a hold to a buy. Now we can go over here to Trendspider and we can look at this. Why did VOO go from a hold to a buy? Is it turning around? It's had a couple of days here where it's turned around a little bit. We're still trading on the 4 hour below the oscillator. The RSI is at 44. It's just a little bit oversold. Now, if you go over to Seeking Alpha and you type in VOO and you look at it, did anything change? Let's look at the quant. Okay, the momentum changed because the momentum has turned around a little bit. It's still a good ETF. The momentum's a B minus. Short term, 1 month, you're down 5%. 6 months, you're down 0.67. 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. It's all good. Again, long term beats trading typically in an ETF specifically like this. So VOO, and how do you get this? What you do is you import your portfolio. See over here on the left, all portfolios? You import your portfolio. And then what happens is you wind up getting an email in the morning with all the news, all the quant rating changes, everything. Stop. You get everything in your email in the morning. Sorry, dog was crying. And I like it. And how can you get this? We'll go over to the link tree. You've got a couple of choices. You can get this premium and Alpha Picks bundle and save $159, or you can get a free 7-day trial of just the Seeking Alpha Premium, import your portfolio, start getting a week's worth of emails, and if you don't use them, just ignore it. If you do use them, you get $30 off your yearly subscription. So again, this is how I set myself up. This is how I calm myself in the morning, is because if the quant ratings change, then I get a little bit nervous. Then I go look at the charts. Then I go look at the news, and I see what's happening. Now, before we get into, QQQ, if you want this, by the way, here's a great, there is a technical trading isn't that hard to learn. And one of the big ones is the 8 and the 21. Okay, when the 8-day EMA is trending below the 21-day EMA, that's not a good signal. And this indicator, you can import it into your Trendspider setup. It is automatic. And you can just take a look at the chart, go over to Trendspider, and if you import it, I don't have it on my screen because I like the candles. I am used to looking at it this way. But if you're new and you just want a visualization of this, custom indicators is the way to do this. And you can code them yourself using AI. It is fantastic. I was playing it with the other day. Now let's talk about, are you a NewsMax millionaire? Because NewsMax, let's just take a look at a 5-hour. Let's take a look at the 1-hour stock battle on this one. I don't even think it gets you in here. No, let's look at a 5-minute chart. Because this one, and I'm going to give you a little hint here. This is NewsMax. They hired the Cuomo brothers. How in the world? I mean, how in the world does somebody that hires the Cuomo brothers get a valuation that a market cap that's higher than HBO Max? But this is NewsMax. I don't get it. It's not sustainable. If you've got this one, I got an email from a listener last night who said, hey, I've got this one, but they're not letting me trade it. How do I transfer this over? Do you know somebody who will let me trade? No, know what you're buying. If you're in a brokerage that won't let you trade, know that. Okay, this person put in a good amount of money and is now up like 1,000 times. Can't sell the damn thing. Okay, if you got in here at the beginning at around $14 or $15, it traded up to $264 yesterday. $264. It is not worth $264. I can guarantee you this is going to crash at some point in time. It's down at 187 right now. It's down 20%. You have a gap here between 82 and 110. Expect that to get filled. It's just not worth it. I don't think the quant covers this one. No, it's not covered. But Seeking Alpha analysts all say sell, strong sell. It is not worth it. It's not even covered by Wall Street. Again, this is part of the reason I don't enjoy investing in IPOs. You need to trade them. It's only got 193,000 shares that are trading yesterday. It's not a short squeeze. I don't think it's a short squeeze because it's too new. But it's just gone crazy. And you know what else went crazy? CoreWeave. And you know why? Because Cathie Woods bought it. Okay? Cathie Woods bought it. And that's it. I mean, this is a news article. Shares ended flat on Friday after opening nearly 3%. They're offering at $40. It went up to $52. I mean, it went nuts. Cathie Woods did buy it. That shot the stock up. I mean, that's very simple. IPOs for me are trades, and they don't even have charts, so you can't set up a strategy. It's just hard. But if you're lucky enough, make sure you take your profits. Don't sit there and hold on to something. And if you can't trade in your brokerage, know that. Don't put a bunch of money in to an IPO without knowing whether you can sell it. And that's part of the problem with IPOs. Do you know if it's going to get halted? It got halted like 7 times yesterday. Not CoreWeave, but Newsmax. Understand what you're getting yourself into. Okay? Now, here's some free indicators. You got RSI with seasonality. You got breakout and fake out coloring. You got TTM squeeze. Get them all and import them into Trendspider. And here's another bonus for you, Trendspider folks. VWAP plus trend confirmation, a powerful combo. This is how you program your strategies. See down here on the bottom where it says all of the following happened, and I'll put this all in the newsletter. It will be free. You can build this. If you have TradingView, you can build this in TradingView if you want. But understand, you need to backtest, and what this is your backtesting of strategies, okay? They backtested 10,000 candles. You see it right there on a 30-minute chart. And over here on the right, just above my head, these are the results. Okay, you make 79% versus 34% buy and hold on Apple over 3.1 years. There's 222 positions, so it's quite active. You only win 33% of the time. So if you start adding in some other indicators, maybe you want to add RSI, maybe you want to add MACD, maybe you want to find something in there, maybe you want to add the 8-day EMA, something to increase that win percentage, because your average win is 3%. You limit your loss at 1%. So if you want to trade Apple, here's a strategy for you. So what you can do is go to my link in Linktree up here, okay? Then go over to Trendspider. Now there's a couple of plans here. You can try it for $20, $19 for 14 days. You can build this strategy easily in Trendspider. You even get a free one-on-one session with a product expert for $20 freaking dollars. Okay? I will tell you that you can get a 1-year subscription for $648. Now, this is the standard tier. Doesn't come with all the bells and whistles, but it comes with everything that you need to implement. And when you sign up for the yearly through my link, you get my 4-hour algorithm, you get 65-minute, you get all my watch lists and custom scanners. We'll go over all of that. But go and import all of this stuff today for $20 and see if you like it. Okay? Now, tell me we're in a tariff war without really telling me that we're in a tariff war, because the Atlanta Fed just updated their Q1 2025 GDP outlook. Negative 3.7% growth. We might be in a recession right now. Remember, you don't know if you're in a recession. You only know after you're in a recession. But this is because of companies front-running the tariffs and loading up in Q4, which is why imports are down so much in Q1. But if these projections are high, we may have the first negative GDP quarter in over 2 years. That's what tariffs do. And you can say, you know, Jim Cramer's been railing on Trump and his tariffs for the last few days. Tariffs cause inflation. It caused good to go up. The majority of what we sell to the world today is software and services, and we sell it at 90% gross margin. What you're trying to bring in with manufacturing are things that make 5% gross margin. It really doesn't make sense in a capitalist society. But again, this is what America voted for. So I'm against it. I think that it could have been rolled out differently. I think it could have been rolled out significantly better. But again, I'm not one to say, hey, I was on the losing side of voting. I don't know what would have happened, and you don't know what would have happened had the other administration won. You can say it would have been a disaster. I don't know. The last 4 years were pretty damn good as far as I'm considering in the stock market. So it is what it is. But again, we may be in a recession. And tell me that NVIDIA demand is dead. When Sam Altman says, we are getting things under control, but you should expect new releases from OpenAI to be delayed. stuff to break and for service to sometimes be slow as we deal with capacity challenges. Working as fast as we can to really get stuff humming. If anyone has GPU capacity in 100K chunks, we can get ASAP. Please call. You know who does? CoreWeave. That's why it went up yesterday. And you know who does? NVIDIA. NVIDIA is not dead. It's not dead. Now, it may be just too popular for the market, and we've got a couple of double bottoms going on. The weekly needed to reset. The MACD has reset. The RSI is only at 41. I would expect this to get back to 140, but understand, this is going to be tough. It's going to be super, super tough. The valuation of this company is just a little bit stretched compared to their revenues. And again, they pulled in a lot of their revenues because what they do is they actually recognize the value of the chips when they're ordered. So you may have double ordering, you may have other things going on, but it's a market cap of 2.69 trillion. And then you've got, you know, when you go to their revenues, their earnings, I mean, it's just hard. Earnings per share quarters by quarter, I mean, it's going up, but it's not growing like it was. And that's the hard part, is as the growth starts to, you know, say you go from 50 million to 100 million. That's not a hard thing, but that's a 100% jump. But when you go from 50 trillion to 55 trillion, that's considered slowing down, even though you made $5 trillion more. So the market likes growth. And when you look at growth here, they're doing well. The revenue year over year, 114%. Is that sustainable at a $2.6 trillion market cap? I don't know. I mean, that may be what's dragging the stock down. Now, if you don't know about AI and you want to learn about it, this was the best damn video. It's about 15 minutes because they go into a full-on interview with one of the person for the last 15 minutes. But it is one of the best videos I have ever seen about the AI coding vibe and what are they called, these wrappers. So Perplexity is what's called a wrapper. And they haven't built their own model. They use other models. They use DeepSeek. They use Llama. They use ChatGPT. They use OpenAI. They use all of them. Okay? They use some of the Amazon models. And then they wrap it in to a nice module. Well, that's what's happening. And what's going on now is people were investing in the actual AI, meaning OpenAI. You saw Microsoft go in there. Now what they're investing in are these wrappers, because those are the people that are able to get money out of the customer. And then they're just using these open source models to give you the best experience possible. And this was eye-opening for me. I loved it. I loved this 15-minute, and Deidre did a fantastic job. So if you have the time, go and watch this, because it will open up your eyes to mean that, hey, maybe we're not in the picks and shovels, right now. And it's about that, hey, how did I know that Apple was great in 2005? I didn't. I guessed. And honest to God, as long as the chart continued to work, I was fine. Now, even when you look at a monthly chart of NVIDIA, do you see any kind of sign that it's getting weak? I see the first pop. But, if you go to Apple and you go to a monthly chart on this one, there are many times where this one pulled back. You can see right here, several times on a monthly, it pulled back. And you can see here in 2022, when the stock was trading at 173, the MACD was super extended. Yet the stock continued to just flounder in that area while the indicators went down. And now you're up there again. And I consider this one to probably just flounder at the 220 to 240 level until we get to the 300 levels. And that will happen. That will absolutely happen. The 4-hour algorithm is really good with this one. 43% versus 39% buy and hold. So if you're scared of Apple, it's only 30 positions over 24 months. But a lot of those have come recently where it's just up and down, up and down. So I don't know where where this particular stock is going, but I'm comfortable holding it. And that 228, if you want to sell over it and sell under it, it's been a pretty good level to look at. So again, this video, one of the best. I'll put it in the newsletter. Now, insurance. The sectors that has been holding up surprisingly well is insurance. Here's stocks that you can look at. Okay, this is from Lynn, Speculator Joe. I don't know what it is. But again, I just found this. And they've been doing really, really well. So find the stocks. Chubb, which is Warren Buffett's play. Everybody started going into Chubb when Warren Buffett got into it. And I believe it was, way back when. I forget when the announcement was. But it's had several pullbacks. And you've had your opportunity. Look at this. I mean, February 21st, it was trading at 267. Now, if you want to look at, some stocks that may be correcting like this, correction deniers is a scan from Trendspider. And you can look at it, and we'll just go and look at some of these stocks. Let's go and look. I mean, ADT, look, it's on its way up during this when the market's going down. AFG, Duke Energy. There's a utility. Ever since January, this thing's been going up from 100 to 120. Okay, General Dynamics. Looks like February 24th, when the market started going down, this one started going up. You may have a golden cross coming up on this one. Okay, there are plenty of stocks that are still going up. RLI, which is RLI Corporation. This has just started to turn up, but your 50-day is starting to move up. So is this one on its way back? Again, correction deniers is the thing. Yelp, does this one have a second leg? Look at how steep that damn 50-day is turning. So there are opportunities out there. You have to go and find them. This is a market that is going to be tough to actually invest in. Okay? One that I don't want you to forget about, because it's down and it's got no tariff implications whatsoever, is Snowflake. Now, Snowflake is incredibly expensive. It's an AI stock, but it's one of those that I talk about with the wrapper, that it's kind of a wrapper, but it's more for corporations. It is not something where they're building their own models. They're using other models. It's like Palantir. Palantir's kind of a wrapper as well. They're using their software to actually make businesses more efficient. And Snowflake does that, but it's incredibly expensive. And I said it since May of 2022 when I started to identify this top and bottom kind of pattern right here. Okay, we are at 149. This one routinely pops to 200, and it will again. It's expensive. It's an expensive stock. When you go and you look at the valuation of this thing, it's trading 129 times forward earnings. Even its PEG ratio with the growth going forward is 3.84. That's too high. So I don't want to hold this one. Its growth, revenue growth year over year, it's only 29%. We talked about NVIDIA at 114%. So NVIDIA, I'm okay holding that one at 100% a gain. But Snowflake, this one I like trading in this range. It's just one that I've picked up. Now, one stock that I published a paid article, Melly, is one of the stocks that could make you $5,000 turn into $1 million over someday. This one has just been on a downward trend. I mean, it has been horrible. And so I went to Perplexity. This isn't a paid, I didn't have to pay for this, but it's a stock that I'm on my watch list. I put out there, I want to get into this one. I said, why is Melly stock dropping? And it gave me 4 reasons: earnings miss and margin pressure, valuation concerns. The forward PE is 56, higher than its peers of Amazon like 45 and eBay at 13. Macroeconomic. Brazil's central bank tightening and economic volatility in Latin America has dampened investor. If you don't know about Melly, it is the Amazon of Latin America. And technical weakness. The stock formed a bearish double top pattern and fell below key moving averages. So again, Perplexity is managing this like your own personal analyst. And absolutely, you can see that 2020 as being a support level that just dropped. Where did I get that 2020 from? I think it was from a previous all-time high. Yeah, there you go. Right there, previous all-time high. We were in this channel pattern. I just talked about Snowflake. You were in this channel pattern. Okay, and you've broken below it. And it's clearly gotten these tops, okay? 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times. It's just sitting around that 2020. Now, if you want to buy it and you think it's good, you can go over here to Seeking Alpha and you can say, okay, let's look at the summary. The 52-week range between 1,300 and 2,300. That's not bad. Wall Street says it's a strong buy. There are 24 analysts that cover this. 15 say strong buy. Okay, the average price target, 25.04. That's a 30% upside. When you look at the valuation of this thing, again, it's expensive. The PEG ratio with factors in growth is less than Snowflake at 1.51. Now, even if you want to go and say, you know what, I just want consumer discretionary broadline retail stocks, Amazon's up above it, PDD, JD is above it, Baba's above it, even Nordstrom and eBay are above it. So when you rank these based on the quant rating, that's what it is. It's based on the quant rating. So it's not a bad one. Amazon's a screaming buy. I've said this before. I think it's a screaming buy. You're getting every part of Amazon. You're paying for AWS, but you're getting every other part of Amazon for free. So understand what you have. And when you're looking at 52-week ranges, here's stocks near 52-week lows. And you don't have to rely on somebody on Twitter. This is a great list. I mean, Ferrari, Microsoft, Caterpillar, FedEx, Lowe's, Google, Qualcomm, Pepsi, Airbnb, AMD, Canadian National Railway, Dell, Nike, Lam Research, Rio Tinto, the Trading Desk, Chipotle, Comcast, Pfizer, which has a 7% dividend. Okay, and how do you get this? Well, you can go over here to the screener and you can just say, 52-week low. Let's see. We're going to go here and we're going to say 50-day. Where's the 50? There is a 52-week here. I thought there was a 52-week. Let's see. I wish I could filter this. But again, this is free. 52-week high and low. Okay? We can say, let's say 0 to 3% above low. And we'll filter this with an index S&P. Okay? There are 41 names on here. We can sort them by market cap. Generic holdings. Okay? Generac. 7.53. We'll do large cap. Adobe. Danaher. Pfizer. United Parcel. CSX. TE Connectivity. DR Horton. You can sort it like that. Again, you can find all these names, but you've got to do the work. Now, an education portion, because I like this one. This is Linda Raschke. I don't know how you say her last name. She's been a top 2% trader for 40 plus years. Her hedge fund has $300 billion assets under management. She had nothing at the age of 22 and became one of the world's best traders. Here's her story. And it's a whole video interview, and you can watch the whole interview. I thought it was interesting. She said if her account was down 10%, she would sell everything and start. So essentially, if she were invested in VOO, okay, and her account was down, she was just in VOO, and her account was at 10% low, she'd sell this one. Okay, the stock is down 10% in 20 days. She would sell everything. And she's wound up making $300 billion. Reading about the legends is eye-opening. Unless you have a plan and rules. Again, I don't agree with that rule, but it's worked for her. You won't act on a plan unless you have it. So write out your plan. For every plan that's right, there are others that are not optimized, like mine, okay? Mine isn't optimized because I'm not the best protector of capital. I'm not always the best at this, and neither will you be, but at least have a plan. What's my plan? My plan is to use Seeking Alpha, their quant ratings, understand my own personal portfolio in that, and then use Trendspider to try and enhance those positions. And that's it. So I'm using fundamentals as my way to go into stocks to make sure that I'm looking at these things the correct way. And I'm using Trendspider to enhance that strategy. Now, am I listening to it 100%? No. Am I optimizing everything? No. You know, I make mistakes just like everybody else. And you're going to have a full-time job. You're not going to be able to do it. But just make sure you have something like my 4-hour algorithm, XLY. I have a tremendous amount of money in XLY. You want to know why? Because it has exposure to Tesla and scans. I'm going to include these in the newsletter today. XLY has an entry in the 4-hour algorithm today. It's down 1.5%. Got you in at 199. Is this a good one to buy? Well, I'll tell you. The performance of XLY in the 4-hour algorithm, you make 60%. Versus buying and holding makes you 39.6% over 24 months. There are 24 positions. So does it make sense? Yes, it makes sense to buy, even though I'm going to get it cheaper than the algorithm tells me here because I'm going to buy at 196. If I want more in this one, I will buy. That's how I use it. Roblox, simple stock. I've said this many times. Buy this one under 40. And you'd be fine. I don't think it's going under 40. They announced a deal with Google yesterday. I think you're going to start filling this gap up to 73. The market needs to get better. That's it. This one's being brought down. It's expensive. It's one that I suggest trading. Another spider sector that has an entry in the 4-hour. Right here, $86. It's trading at $85. It's XLB. It's the material sector. We're going to remove this text. 4-hour algorithm makes you 19% versus buy and hold over the last 2 years makes you 11%. I'm not a materials guy, but if I wanted to get in, the 4-hour algorithm will guide me a little bit better than buy and hold. So I can buy every time that it tells me to buy. And you know what? I can trim when it tells me I'm not going to get out. I'm not that woman. I'm not Linda here, but I can trim when it tells me to get out. I don't have to sell everything. It's just about finding your plan. Now, I am going to go over the for paid members, the 10 baggers, the one that I used Perplexity with. So it's going to be a separate podcast for you today on Substack. Remember, you can sign up for Substack. It's free. The majority of it is free. If you want to support me, then you just get the paid, and I try and give back with some of these additional things. So I'm going to take yesterday's 10-bagger, and I can go over here and just show you this one. It's a 10-bagger. This entire newsletter was free. And here are the notes from yesterday's podcast. And I went over this particular thing. It's way down at the bottom, I think. It's 10-bagger. And what is a 10-bagger? It goes up 1,000%. Here's the 10-bagger since the COVID lows. So I just took literally this image and I said to Perplexity, tell me what's the common factors of all these businesses? Because you would have thought since COVID that it was all tech. It's not. 4 of the 5 top stocks are oil and natural gas names. Okay, GameStop is in there. Supermicro's in there. Celsius is in there. NVIDIA's in there. Vertiv is in there. Viper Energy is in there with VNOM, which is actually doing better than MPLX, which my buddy, he bought VNOM. I bought MPLX. Broadcom is in there, which is broken down. So there's a lot in there. So I'm going to go over that. I got 9 names. 9 names in specific sectors, 3 different sectors where it tells me, hey, here are the stocks that might turn into 10 baggers over the next 5 years. Okay, if you have any questions, again, everything's on Linktree. You can, or Substack, either one. Just get in contact with me. You can reply in Spotfiy. There's always ways to get in contact with me. Okay, take care. See you. Bye. Okay. Yeah, I'm not afraid of the tariff stuff, Wendy. I hope that kind of came across, but I am pretty sure we're getting bad news. I mean, and I shouldn't say I'm pretty sure we're getting bad news. He's been, I mean, I said it yesterday, since 1987. He's been pounding the table that we're getting screwed by the world. So he wants to pay back a little. Okay. We're going to take this and put that in there. Green screen. Wall. Okay, and we'll put that in there. Green screen. And then I've got to export file. Next. 42 pod. Free. Yeah. Eli, I think you do have to look at short time frames, but that doesn't mean that you give up on your long term. I mean, I'm not selling Apple at 220. I sold it 240 and 260. It wasn't exact, by the way. I think it was like 257 and 238, somewhere around there. But maybe it was 242 when this one kind of told me to sell. But those are trims. That's not getting out of my position. Yeah, I just, for a man who, we're not the only one, Scott. A man who clearly cares about the stock market. I mean, what's interesting is all of this started after his nominees got through confirmation and they had sold their divested all of their stocks. That's what's concerning to me, is that these guys are now playing with they can buy back everything at 10% under. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is Chris is right. I mean, he's cried wolf so many times. Who knows what he's actually saying? But okay, I'm getting out of here before the market starts. Let me see. Let me look at my Webull account. That's how I gauge, because it's all NVIDIA and IBIT and stuff like. Oh, it's not that bad. It's down 0.86. Google is down 1%. NVIDIA is down 2%. IBIT is actually hanging even. Spotify is down 1%. Tesla is down 4%. I mean, Tesla's numbers are going to be just trash. I can't imagine Tesla being good. I think you're going to see this one back down at that 220 level. But maybe I'm wrong. You know, you never know. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think he's doing it 100% for attention, because it's in the Rose Garden. I don't think you have to. Perplexity on the iPhone is fantastic, but I use it on the computer and it's pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty good wrapper. It's my favorite AI right now. But that change, I mean, let's be honest, that changes on a weekly basis. Yeah, trade your stocks, follow your charts. The stop loss thing for me, it just, I've never been good at it. I don't want to, at times like this, I don't want to put new things in to my process. So I tend to just, do what's worked. Okay, I'm out of here. I got to do another video. And it's going to be a lot because there's 9 of them. Oh, kudos. Congratulations, EI. Your life will be so much better. It's so good. I'm telling you, you will start buying more Apple stock. The ecosystem is so damn good. It's actually, I'm shocked at how it's got, Google has gotten better at integrating into the Apple stuff. So it's not that bad right now, but it is kind of cool. And yeah, I'm going to go do this. I signed up for Canva Premium, and I got to tell you, it's game changing. I think I typed it out yesterday. Let me see. I think I put it on my profile yesterday. I was on a fire on Twitter yesterday. I did a lot. This is a great clip, by the way. When you lose your job, the plan should be just get another job. I mean, that's number one. Newsmax millionaire. Oh, there's little Daisy. By the way, this is Daisy's the page. That's her adoption page. When I found her on Pet Finder. I still have it. Yeah, I subscribed to Canva Premium after using it for free for 5 years. Today was the first day. Took me less than 5 minutes to make a thing. Okay, I'm out. See you guys. Show likes it.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.